Brooks in the Morning Rush on 98.7 Kiss Country.
7:38 Tuesday morning, and it's beautiful out. It's a little chilly, but it's still wonderful to be out and having these temperatures. Farmers are rolling up and down the field. Be careful of all the machinery that are on the roadways. I had to pull over for a hay cutter yesterday, but that's all right. That's what you do. And, you give them the old farmer wave, and away you go. So, Pete, isn't that right? There's no construction on the gravel roads, though.
That is correct. And you just took away one of my things I was going to talk about.
About all the farmers and on the field?
Yeah. Yep.
I would much rather get stuck behind it. Now, back in the day when I was younger and impatient, I'm a little more patient with farmers because, I grew up on the farm. I was doing the same thing.
Yep, me too.
And I would much rather be behind a farmer than I would the traffic jam at Minneapolis.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, not even close.
Right? I mean, it's like,
Yes.
Come on.
No, I agree. But like you said, they're out there, and harvest is probably starting a little bit early because it's been so dry. So be aware, slow down, give them room. those combines and tractors and grain wagons they're huge and they need room. So give them room. They're going to get where they're going and get off the road, and you'll be fine. So be aware with that going on now with them and the school buses out there. There's a lot to be watching for.
Absolutely. There's no need to get upset because it's just part of life.
Exactly.
Like I said, years ago, I'd be like, oh, man, I'm stuck behind a farmer. I got to get going. You know what? Just take it all in and, pull over if you need to. And, because it's a lot easier for you to pull over than it is for the farmers to pull over.
A lot easier. Yes. There's a lot of weight on those things, and they don't want to get too far over on the shoulder or on an incline in the ditch. So yes, Give them room, get by, do what you do, relax, turn up the radio for a little bit, and have a good day.
Yeah. So Pete, I did something this past weekend. We'll get to that here in a minute, but I want to find out what's going on with the road reports first, as far as how's construction going. Are we getting any closer to some of those being wrapped up?
Yeah, we are. We're making good progress. Like we just mentioned, unfortunately, it's been incredibly dry, but that has allowed us to make some good progress in the construction realm of things. But I guess a couple of things that are going to be a little bit different. Over by Clear Lake today, you will see some patching on the interstate. I know we touched on the patching project that started last week, and it pretty much runs from like the Dallas area all the way up to the Minnesota state line. Not the entire length at the same time, but they'll be jumping around doing certain areas. And they were planning on being in the Clear Lake area today, so you're probably going to see some lane closures on interstate when you drive through there. No detour, no pilot car flagger is the thing, but you will see lane closures, so be aware of that. And then the US 18 project in Hancock County near Britton and Garner, they did move to the east side of town, like we mentioned last week. Also, probably today, you're going to start seeing some patching going on, probably from about the west edge of Britt, east about 3 miles. So that will be pilot car and flagger through the area. They're getting the road ready to be resurfaced in that area. We go in and patch some of the bad spots, so we get a good solid base for the new asphalt going down. So that's probably going to be happening today and going on through this week. So be prepared for that. Other than that, the other bridge deck overlay projects by Riceville and New Haven, they're moving ahead. The ones out on the avenue between 65 and Eisenhower, one in the eastbound lane, one in the westbound lane. Again, they're still moving ahead, hoping to get those open in a couple weeks, early October we're looking at. So that's good news. And over at Floyd, again, doing a lot of small stuff, getting everything ready for the paving crew to move in, and they will hopefully be in early October to start paving the main line, the new highway out there, as we get closer to opening that full interchange up in mid to late November.
What happens if cold weather comes before any of these projects get done? Can they still be finished?
Yeah, there are different ways you can do it. You can use insulating blankets on the concrete. You can use hot water in the concrete. It's a lot of things we don't like to do, but when it comes down to a point where you have to get a project done, yeah, there are ways you can do it. You can keep the ground heated with blankets. There's a lot of ways that are very time consuming and very heavy workload, I guess we'll put it as, does you have to adjust to the temperatures, but hopefully we won't have to worry about that.
I should remind people too that we're on. We have a video that goes on too. It's on our YouTube channel and on 98.7 Kiss Country's Facebook page. So if you do have a comment or a question, you can always do that right there as we're doing it live. Now, obviously, when we're done, we're not going to be able to, make any comments except for writing them back to you. So Pete, and I know you watch it too, so you can make a comment back if people do that. So just want to remind people of that.
Exactly. Happy to answer any questions you have, and if I don't know the answer, I know people who do, and I'll find it for you.
There you go. See that? Pete knows people.
Exactly.
Of course, the IODOT update we do every Tuesday at 7:40, and it's brought to you by Mesa City All Risk Insurance. And get your insurance and make sure you're covered, and whether it's agriculture or ski-doo or whatever boat or whatever, you're going to be putting that in storage pretty soon because it's a lot of people pulling the boats off the lakes.
Yeah, it's crazy, and not only because of the time of year, but I've also heard the lakes are a little low in some spots, and it's a little bit of a challenge getting them off the lifts and things. So
You've heard the same thing, huh?
I have. In fact, I know friends who have had to work to get their boats off the lift.
Me too. Yeah, well, really? Clear Lake's that low?
Yeah,
At least one of the lakes, anyway.
right. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's been a year, that's for sure. I can't remember a year being this dry.
No, I can't either. But you got anything else on the construction side of things, Pete? Or is that about it?
No, that pretty much wraps it up for right now. Hopefully by next week or the following week, we'll have a little more idea, some firm dates of when some of these bridge deck overlays are going to be done. And, so much of it, as we've talked about, depends on contractor availability. And if they're behind on a certain project, they might pull crews on one project to go catch up. But hopefully we're getting to the point where we'll be able to nail down some of these dates pretty soon and get these projects wrapped up before it does get too cold and we have to worry about temperatures.
Yeah. So doing a little travel this weekend, I know a lot of people have traveled to Minneapolis. Of course, they'll let it go into a Twins game or a Vikings game. That Interstate 35 going up wasn't too bad. And then, of course, coming back was always a bad thing. But yesterday came home. We spent the weekend at Park Rapids up there in Minnesota by Bemidji and Brainerd area. And it was smooth sailing, getting on Interstate 35W and transition at 35. It was smooth.
Tell you what, it's one of the things I always say to people during a construction project. No, it's not always convenient traveling through the area, but once it's done, it's usually well worth it.
Oh man, I tell you what, the old wife's 40. What does she even have? Her vehicle rode smooth on the way home.
Smooth ride's a good ride.
Exactly. We were up there, Pete, did a little bit of made a purchase up there this past weekend and all that good stuff. So at a resort and just a little getaway. You know what that's like, getting away every now and then.
It's really, really nice to have a spot like that.
Yeah, but then come to find out, after it was all done, they told me about the Bears.
Bears? The Chicago Bears?
No, like bears, black bears.
Oh,
yeah. This because I have a storage shed on the property too, and they're like, there's a couple holes in here, this and that. And, oh, really? What's that from? Oh, the wife left the bird seed in the shed, and the bear tore it down. And I go,
note to self: don't worry about feeding the birds.
Yeah, no way, no bird feeders, no bird feed. I'm like, that's a black bear. Those are black bear claws, and oh yeah, bite marks too. And I go,
Yep.
You didn't tell me this until after I paid you.
Would you have told somebody before they paid them?
Oh yeah, we have bears stop by every now and then. Great, a couple extra burgers and brats for the bears.
Well, what is it? They're more afraid of you than you are of them.
No, that's what they say, but I don't want to try it.
Exactly. I wouldn't test it, but
No.
just make yourself feel better when you sleep at night.
Yeah, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. You see him every now and then. Go every now and then. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think up there for a lot of people, seeing a bear is almost like us seeing a deer. It's just not that big a deal.
Well, then there's a big dumpster area, where the bears hang out there too, I guess, apparently, because obviously everybody throws their garbage in there.
Yep.
My luck, it's going to happen. I'm driving down. I can walk to it because it's pretty close. Like I told you guys, I'm driving down there, so I got somewhere to jump into and drive away.
I told you before, my friends have a cabin in far northern Minnesota, and there was a landfill that people literally used to drive to at night and just sit there and just watch the bears as they
Really?
rummage through everything. Now, that was probably 15, 20 years ago. They've closed the dump at night now, so people don't get in there, just so there isn't any problems. But yeah, no, they're pretty common to see up in that area.
Yeah. Well, apparently, because it's torn down my storage shed. It's
You might want
fixed.
to you might want to reinforce it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not going to have any bird seed in there.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife was making fun of me too because I started looking things up on about black bears
Okay.
and how fast they run.
Oh yeah.
You know, about 30, 35 miles an hour for a short period of time. Well, how short is that short period of time? 'Cause
Exactly.
you know, that's what I want to know.
Like I always say, just go to the garbage with somebody who's
That you
not
can-
as fast as you. That's all that matters.
That's what I told the wife. I said, hey, all I got to do is outrun you. She goes, I doubt it. What? Oh, yeah. If I get a black bear chasing me, I'm running fast.
Yeah, I think
I
you'll get to top speed pretty quickly. Now, the big thing is, what is top speed?
For me, yeah,
Just
and
faster than the bear, right?
it is faster than the bear, but I got to, you know, I'm guessing it takes him a little bit to get it to about 30, 35 miles an hour. He's got a little bit more mass to get rolling, but so hopefully he poops out before before he catches me. Of course, we'll both be standing there going, "Whew, was that worth it?"
Hopefully, this is all talk. You don't have to worry about putting this plan into action.
Lord, I hope so.
Yeah.
But I'm going, man, you can't, you know, because we got a fire pit and everything there. And so I'm going,
Sure.
can you do that? They say that the bears use that as a beacon to know where things are at, if they got food or whatever.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I looked all this stuff up yesterday, Pete. Not
Oh.
yesterday, the day before.
If you read it on the internet, I'm sure it's true.
Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah.
I think it's from the conservation office or something.
Well, that's probably a pretty good source.
That's why I use that instead of, let's look at some random facts. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
once you get all this bear safety figured out, I'll come and visit you.
I'm telling you, man, that thing will turn into a rug in the camper.
Yeah. Oh, they do have a hunting season for them. I know that.
I know it. But you can't bait them.
No,
No,
you cannot.
I was reading, like I said, I read up on everything like that. So then my wife's got to tell everybody, oh, yeah, Jay's been reading up on bears. Now you told me all about these black bears.
Always good to know your opponent.
Well, I know he's already bigger and he's faster than I am. So I don't stand a chance.
Says say those are two good things to be aware of.
Right. I'm not going to stand off and face at him and try and make myself look bigger because I'm guessing he's probably going to stand up and go, oh, yeah, watch
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know black bears can get to be pretty good size, but a lot of them too are, I don't know. I know the smaller ones, I think, aren't much bigger than labs. I mean, now the younger ones, obviously, but
Right.
they do get bigger than that. But yeah, like I said, I've been going up to this cabin that I go to for, I think it's 28 years. And we know there are bear in the area. I have never physically seen one. So
Really? Well,
I think they stay pretty quiet.
well, they do. They stay away from people. I mean, they
Yeah.
don't really want to, unless you stand between them and their cubs. You don't want to
That's
do
not
that.
a good idea.
No. See, so I did some reading, Pete.
You did. You're prepared.
I did. I had the wife drive it so I could look it all up.
Oh, goodness. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, their little purchase to go away and relax is turning into an adventure.
I would be staying in the camper, just hanging out looking for
Yeah.
bears to make sure it's okay to go outside. And oh boy, I can't imagine they would. If you have food in the camper or whatever, it's not going to bother it there. I wouldn't think.
No, I wouldn't think so either. Did you walk around the camper and look for bite marks or claw marks?
I did. Well, not for bear. I never thought about that, Pete. But I never seen any holes or scratches on it.
Well, hopefully that's a good sign.
Only on the storage shed. So
Yep.
he flattened it out right here, and this is what I'm going. And it was screwed down. I said he didn't buy it. No, I just one of those big heavy plastic type deals.
Yep.
Sheds.
Yep.
That, yeah. Then, oh, this is what he did right here. And this, you go, oh boy,
Just a different world.
it is a different world.
Yep.
But I don't want to be a statistic.
Exactly.
That's all I don't want to be.
Nope. No. Like I said, I don't think you have a lot to worry about.
Well, yeah, I'll take a picture.
Yeah,
If I see it, I'm posted on my Facebook page, Pete, and I'll tell you too.
I have no doubt.
All right. Well, Pete, you have a wonderful week and continue working and getting those roadways, or at least watching everybody work. You do that well.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right. All right. Well, good. Have a great week. All right, Pete.
All right, you do the same.
That's the good stuff.
Here's a few good stories for you. It involves kittens